Hi everyone, welcome. It's Friday Focus again. I'm not sure where these weeks are going at the moment. They're whizzing by. But today, this week's topic on Friday Focus is what is your USP? For those who don't know, it's unique selling point. It's basically what makes you special, what makes people buy from you as opposed to other people who do the same sort of thing as you. Why should people come to you as opposed to another florist, photographer, whatever your line of business is? So people have been commenting so far on the Facebook page and the Instagram posts. It's been really interesting to hear your stories. But today, basically we do a live video every week, and I am talking to the expert marketing guru, Vicki Stone from Stone Collective Marketing. She's going to offer some tips on why it's important to know your USP and how to figure it out. I personally, from my point of view, I think it's so important that we all have it. We all have a USP. We just might not know what it is. It's just a case of figuring out what it is. I've been in business for quite a long time now in various sort of guises. I run a wedding florist. I now run this. I also run a plant pot online store as well. So yeah, I'm a bit of an entrepreneur. But when I first started out in business almost 10 years ago now, I had a vision in my head of what I thought I wanted my business to look like. And I kind of ran with that. My business reflected me a little bit and what I wanted to do. But like everyone, when I first started out in business, you just take on any sort of jobs that come your way. You're happy to have that business. But after a few years, I started to sort of sit back and kind of take a look at my business in more detail, and figure out what was special about me. Why did people come to me rather than the two other florists on the high street? And I think it was because I was approachable, my shop was light and airy and modern, and I was an independent business owner as opposed to part of a larger chain like Interflora, for example. And it's not that I'm knocking those things, because that's what's special about those people and people who prefer that go to them, but people who preferred my style came to me. So I'm going to introduce Vicki now. So this is Vicki of Vicki Stone Marketing. Vicki, could you tell us a little bit about your business first before you start giving my lovely viewers some tips?
Yeah, well, a bit like you, I've got two businesses. I've got Stone Collective, which is a marketing consultancy, and I've also got Upstart Enterprise as well, which is a social enterprise that works in communities and schools around and does projects around enterprise as well.
So you're a busy lady.
Yes, like you, different hats.
Where do you find the time?
So in terms of USP, I work with a lot of clients who quite often, even the larger organisations, don't know what their USP is. So even if you're a really small business or a really large business, I think the most important thing is to talk to your customers and do some sort of in-depth research with your customers to ask them why they buy from you. Sometimes that's not always easy, because they'll tell you what they want you to hear. So by bringing someone else in to do those questions for you, it works really well.
Yeah, absolutely. Like a marketing professional, perhaps,
Yeah.
for example.
Yeah, you'll be amazed at what customers say though about that you didn't even realise. Like even for Stone Collective, because we were rebranding from Vicki Stone Marketing to Stone Collective a couple of years back, and we were, we'd been growing the business continually over the years. Steady small business, and it was doing really well. But then we researched and we asked our clients why they did business with Stone Collective, then Vicki Stone Marketing. And we thought it was down to the fact that we had, global brand experience, all these fab things from my background in working in big ad agencies before. But it wasn't. They liked me. So I was the USP. So that's why I stuck with the surname Stone still. So, Stone Collective. because we went back and forth with a really good copywriter. We're working with names for the new business, what it was going to be called, and that's why we're stuck with the stone, because of what our customers said. We couldn't ignore them. So
I mean, from my point of view as an outsider, I think the name Stone Collective sounds really professional and stuff. So I think you did right there. But you're absolutely right. Just to pick up on something you touched on there, people buy from people, you know, and whether you're an independent florist on a high street or a startup business like mine, or Richard Branson in charge of Virgin, you know, people buy from people, and I think, you know, there's always got to be a face behind that brand, hasn't there? You know, Richard Branson, for example, as a large corporation sort of example, you know, if he does something wrong, it's splashed all over the papers, and people have a problem then with Virgin as a business, you know, because he's done something. So it works at all levels, you know. As a small business owner, like you rightly said, people buy from you, that they like you, they like coming to speak to you, they feel comfortable with you, and they feel confident that you can do what they want you to do with the business. So so it's a real plus point there. You're definitely right there. So in terms of figuring out what your USP is, like how to do it, I mean, would you suggest things like surveys, or, you know, what could you go into a bit more detail about that?
Yeah. Quite often I'll ask clients to come up with a list of their main competitors, and then what we'll do is we'll write the main benefits and the USPs of their main competitors, and then theirs as well. So, you know, all the different benefits and what their USP is. What we'll do is we'll actually compare their competitors with them, all the different benefits and why people work with them. And then we'll then see where, you know, the client stands out from their competitors, and that will be their main, well, quite often it'll be their main USP that we'll focus on. We'll also do like a SWOT analysis as well. And, you know, the surveys are a really good way of not just pinging out a survey monkey. Survey monkeys are good when you're setting up something new and you want to remain anonymous, but sitting down and actually having that conversation with one of their customers, and you ask them, you know, why did you buy from them? What's good about them? You know, you'll get some really good hidden gems, you know what I mean, for your marketing that you can use to help develop USP as well. But yeah, quite a lot of like web design, for example, it's a very busy market, and designers, it's quite busy. So standing out there quite often, if you're a really small business, again, it's going back to that, who are you doing business with? You know, it's that trust thing. And you know, people trust me as a marketing consultant. They tell me things that they probably wouldn't even tell their wives or husbands or whatever, you know what I mean? They tell me really confidential things, you know, like if they're not getting on with their business partner, or, you know, so really, and that's not marketing, it's just somebody who's there to listen to them and understand the business.
But it's so important as a marketing person for you to know the full picture, I think.
Oh, definitely.
Well. Yeah, so that's really helpful. Definitely. There's 1,000 other people who do the same thing as, you know, as me, as you, as florists, as photographers, as hair and makeup artists, whatever it is you do. You go along the high street, you'll come across half a dozen barbers, for example. You know, what makes people stick with that person? And it's you, like you say, it's the person behind the business. And I mean, I've done courses myself, and I'm starting to sort of offer courses myself on figuring out who your ideal client is and how to appeal to them a bit more. And I think exercises such as surveys and what have you really help with that sort of thing as well. But I'm going to do a whole separate session on that. I think that's a different Friday focus. Absolutely, it's I think as a business owner who's done things like surveys and you know, questionnaires and what have you before, it's actually quite it might seem like a daunting process at the beginning, but it's quite reassuring actually when you get those answers back, and you hear a regular client tell you that oh, I come to Vicki because, you know, and you're like, yes, that's what I was going for. That's so nice that it's being received and people can see that. So yeah, my advice would be to, you know, don't see it as a big daunting task for anyone who wants to sort of, you know, employ a marketing person, or you know, go and do their own surveys or that sort of thing. It might seem it, but you'll see the results of it and you'll be glad you did it. So so yeah, thank you so much, Vicki, anyway, for coming on to do this week's Friday Focus. It's been an absolute pleasure to, you know, talk to like an absolute expert like yourself. So you've been doing this for a long time. So I appreciate it.
I just think it's common sense marketing. I just do it. And people go, you struggle with it, and I'm like, well, why are you struggling? But then that's me, you know. I've been in the marketing for 20 odd years now, you know.
Yeah, it comes natural to you, and you know, certain things come natural to me. Like it's with my floristry business, for example, you know, I think, why can't you do that, you know, because it comes so naturally to me. But yeah, that's a good thing, and I think, you know, people should develop businesses in something that they are passionate about, and that's something that is naturally them. You know, there's no point in trying to sort of shoehorn yourself into something that doesn't suit you. So yeah, I mean, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you anyway. And I've tagged you on all social media channels and things, and thanks for coming on, and I hope your viewers on your own pages tune into Friday Focus as well.
Thank you. You just reminded me I need to have a haircut as well now. Look, lockdown. I was going to try, your hair looks lovely now. Lovely to speak to you.
Thank you to Maxine from the Sky Caller, by the way. Thanks, and take care and enjoy your weekend.
Thank you. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye.